Resident Evil Revelations 2 has got to be the weirdest co-op game I've ever played in my life. And I'll explain how the game works in a second, but the co-op mechanics are so strange that they actually end up making it a better single-player game than a multiplayer game, I think, but I don't know, you can decide after I explain how this works, because it's weird. Okay, so a broad overview, the game is meant to be played in split screen, like it was meant to be a couch co-op game, which I do really respect, but they don't force you to play like this. Like, you can just play the game as a single-player game, and then you press triangle to switch between the two characters instead of two different people controlling them. One player plays as Claire Redfield, and to them, it's just a regular Resident Evil game. Like, it plays like RE4 and all the games similar to it. However, the other player plays as a new character whose special power is that they can hold a flashlight. I'm not kidding. That is pretty much the extent of what this character does. They hold the flashlight, like when you help your dad build something as a kid. The player with the flashlight can use it to point out other items, and they can use a melee attack and use throwables, but that's about it. Like, they are not really useful in combat whatsoever, which is such a bizarre idea for a co-op Resident Evil game. It's like, hey bro, do you want to come over and play new Resident Evil? I'll do everything and you hold the flashlight for me. I can only imagine that the idea for this is that you were meant to play it with somebody who doesn't normally play video games, like a partner or a child or a parent, but I don't know, Resident Evil seems like a strange franchise to do that. However, it does make it a better single-player game, in my opinion, because it is more advantageous to explore as the character who holds the flashlight, because you can find more items, but then when you do come into enemies, you're pretty much helpless. So it kind of creates this cool feeling of helplessness or panic in that split second when you do come across an enemy or one pops up at you or jump scares you, because you can't really fight back. So you have to switch to the other character and then, you know, take out the enemies of that one. But like, it helps kind of keep it a horror game while still letting you kind of Rambo your way through it, like in Resident Evil 4 or 5. I think it's a fun spin on the Resident Evil 4 style of Resident Evil games, but I would never want to play this with co-op with somebody. I don't know anyone who would want to play as the flashlight holder. Have you ever played Resident Evil Revelations 2? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, give me a follow.